Hi, guys, and welcome back to our Game of Thrones recap show, and welcome back to Game of Thrones. I have been waiting for this day for almost 2 years since the last episode of the last season, or season 7, dropped, and I've been waiting for season 8 to start, and then we got the news that we had to wait another year, and I'd lost my mind, and I'm still losing my mind, because we only got the one episode, and I can't wait for the next 5 episodes. And the issue is, in 5 weeks, it's going to be done, and I'm going to lose my mind again because Game of Thrones will be done. Anyway, that's beside the point. Guys, we're here to review episode 1 of season 8 of Game of Thrones. I am your host, as usual, Kees Cornelissen. With me is Irina Muha and Ryan McClellan, two big Game of Thrones fans as well, who also saw the episode. And we're here to talk about the episode. If you have not seen it, watch it first, because there will definitely be a lot of spoilers, and considering how spoiler-heavy Game of Thrones can be, yeah, get ready. So, guys, we're back, and Winterfell is just being completely stacked for a battle that, oh my god, I cannot wait. That's just the opening scene alone. Ryan, how do you felt about the episode, and how about the opening scene?
In general, it was a really good episode, and as far as that opening scene, I liked it because it has been so long since we've seen, assuming that you didn't rewatch it, which I did, but still, you still want to kind of ease back into things and be like, okay, and they did it very obviously in a way. It was like, here's this person, and here's this, oh, remember this person, and so it's just like, kind of, we're going to get you to, oh, don't forget that Aegon Targaryen and his friend there are together now, so it's like Daenerys and them and and so it's like, yeah, it was just interesting how we see now that not everyone gets along, as far as and I'm sure we'll get into it with Sansa and the other Northerners as a whole not really wanting to accept Daenerys and her troops in, but it did a good job of setting the stage for the episode, I think, and for the season as a whole.
True. Your thoughts?
I think this is the first time we actually saw Northerners, common people, in a crowd. We've seen that in King's Landing, when Joffrey would go, and there are people on the street just watching the royalty, and we saw their reaction to Lannisters and Baratheons, and not Baratheons. But in terms of North, I think it was always quite empty. We only saw the Lords and Starks, so it was interesting to finally see there are people in the North. There are high stakes, because before it was okay, we don't really know who lives there. Now we saw people are there. They were waiting for Jon. Daenerys came. Everyone's reactions. It was very interesting. And then we come to Winterfell, and that's the next part.
Indeed, yeah. Everyone is coming to Winterfell. First, you just get the Unsullied. By the way, one thing that I thought was a really cool thing, when everyone is going into Winterfell, and you essentially get the Queen there, they played the theme that they also played when King Robert arrived in Winterfell at the very beginning of season 1. It was the same theme. Well, it was a little different, of course, but it was still the same kind of melody throughout that I thought was really cool. We're back. There are a lot of callbacks in this episode, period. A lot of people being reunited, and just a lot of callbacks that we know from season 1. And I really like that this episode did that and just took its time with it. That it didn't really bother. Well, okay. It did bother a little bit with focusing on the fact that we're gonna fight a huge battle, but still it took its moment to have those moments. But yeah, Daenerys comes in, and nobody's looking at her happy, and that's essentially because the Northerners are very proud of the North. So we've seen the Northern people together and the Northern houses together, and they like that, but they don't like it when other people come there, especially a foreign invader who they've never met, like Daenerys. So everyone is really mad at her, it seems, especially Sansa. I am back to not liking her now because she was so annoying. Daenerys was nice and the North is beautiful and you're beautiful, and then she's like, shut up. Sansa's back to being annoying for me. But what I just wonder, the Northerners seem to dislike her. And will that lead to actually them going to rebel and going to go against Daenerys and her army or not, and especially if the truth leaks out about Aegon Targaryen, that we know there is another person who they already like that might actually have more claim to the throne. We don't know about that. So yeah, we get to Winterfell, and we actually get a lot of people reunited. We see Jon and Arya being reunited. We see Jon and a lot of people being reunited.
Yeah, basically.
Bran, of course. Sam in the crypts, yes. So, what do we think about them coming into Winterfell and getting reunited with a lot of people? Ryan?
I thought it was awesome. My favorite in sort of that beginning section of the episode was when Arya and Jon reunited. Yes. They were the most alike, I feel like, in season 1. So to finally just kind of get, it's not really closure, I guess, but I don't know, just to see them reunited was nice. And as far as like everyone else, I think that I don't think necessarily Sansa's annoying, because I guess I can kind of understand where she's coming from. Like, all right, I don't really want to make friends with some random, woman either. So it's like, there's kind of like, I think she's just also unclear on like the division of power and stuff like that. So it's like Sansa wants to look out for her own. So I get that. But at the same time, yeah, it's like, all right, well, we know Daenerys for the past like however many seasons, so we know who she is, when Sansa really doesn't. So there's that. But I think that just having everyone back at Winterfell already, I'm almost getting like this really like claustrophobic kind of feel where everyone, you just like throw enough into the pot and eventually it's going to boil over. So that's what I'm excited for moving forward with all these people reuniting.
Yeah, well, especially if you see all the tents just outside the walls of Winterfell. There are so many people, and this is really going to be something. Your thoughts on Winterfell?
I want to quickly pick up where Ryan left off about Sansa and Dany. Like what I told Case when we were watching is that every woman is often women are often jealous of other women if they're prettier and they're more in power, especially if like Sansa wants what Dany has. She wants power. She wants to be respected and looked up to. And like Jon is now on Dany's side. Sansa's thinking, okay, Jon is thinking with his other head, technically. And Arya is fine with Dany because Arya doesn't have this aspirations the same as Sansa. So yeah, I get it. Sansa was afraid of that, and now it happened. Like that Jon will go away and come back fully at Dany's feet. That's what happened. Mm-hmm. In terms of Winterfell, it was nice to see Arya seeing Jon. Then she sees the Hound. Then she sees Gendry.
Oh yeah,
it's all happening, and then she sees the dragons. I think Maisie Williams really played.
She gave a great performance.
It was subtle, but you could read everything.
No, but her reaction to seeing Jon, it was so genuine.
Yeah.
Seeing the dragons, like, oh my god, there are dragons here. Essentially, everyone just, whoa, this is happening.
Everyone is at Winterfell.
Like
Podrick didn't speak; he was there.
No.
Brienne. Oh my god. Yeah, Brienne is there. She didn't speak. Davos is there. We saw everyone is basically there.
Missandei, Grey Worm. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Melisandre's gonna come very soon, probably. Anyway. Everyone's there.
By the way, speaking of dragons, Jon and Dany go for a little ride on the dragons around the countryside. I mean, the joke should have been made, of course. I'm not even going to apologize. Yeah, it's the second dragon that Jon rides. We know. But this time, it's the real deal. He is actually on a dragon, trying to... Well,
named after his father.
Right. That's funny, yeah. That was a really cool scene. I loved it.
Yes.
No subtleties here. This is Game of Thrones. We hit you over the head with shit.
What did you think about that scene, Ryan?
It was really cool. I mean, they really, they were like, we're going to blow these people away by funneling a shit ton of money into this first episode, because the amount of time that the dragons are in it and just what, they went through to have that whole scene, like flying down into the ravine or valley and all that, and just It was also kind of a funny little joke too when she's like, "Don't be afraid," and then goes back to kissing him, and then Jon looks back and the dragon's just staring at him, like, make a wrong move, mother f, like, see what happens. So that was a fun scene, and it was just cool to see them, get away, and she obviously, I think that kind of proves, because I had always wondered if she's in love with him the way he is with her, and I think that kind of proves that she's as in love with him. Like, the feelings pretty even and mutual between them. So that was kind of cool seeing.
Yeah, only then Jon got some news that he is actually her nephew.
Yeah.
I do think that Jon is not going to tell anyone about that, especially because he genuinely doesn't care for the throne. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want anyone to know about that, because if anyone knows about it, then those people will, like Sam already did, those people will want Jon to be on the throne, because they're like, oh, we like you. We don't like this Dany, but we like you, so please, you on the throne, and let's throw away this girl we don't know. But I really think Jon has no interest in that throne. He just wants to win the war, and he cares for Dany. He wants to see her on the throne, I think.
He wants to live. He wants to...
True. So, yeah, thoughts on the scene. Sam telling Jon about his heritage. Your thoughts?
I think it was, of course I was thinking, how is that going to happen, because it's such a big scene. What if, I was afraid that it's going to be too exposition-y, like they're going to sit Jon down, like, Jon, we saw the vision.
Especially if it's Bran telling him.
Yeah, but at this point, we haven't discussed what happened with Sam, but Sam is, at this point, in such shambles. He just want to get it out. He want to tell Jon. He wants to see Jon on the throne, because he's like, Jon wouldn't have done what Dany did, and he's like, you need to know this and this and this. I'm not gonna beat around the bush like Bran in the beginning. He's like, the White Walkers broke through the wall. They're coming here.
Night King has your dragon.
Yeah, we need to do shit. Let's go. Everything is very fast, and I like that they didn't drag it out. Exposition. No, it's just, there we go. So that was nice, and Jon's reaction is very good. He immediately thinks about honor. Like, oh, Ned Stark lied to me. No. And then he thinks, okay, what? But I can't. It's treason. Like, I didn't understand why is treason. What did he say treason?
Well, because he swore loyal to Daenerys. Right. He already bent the knee. He made that pact, and he already stood up against Cersei of all people, and everyone else in the last season, last episode, where Cersei said bend the knee, and Jon was like, no. I have sworn allegiance to Daenerys, and I'm not going to change that. So I don't think he'll change that. He is just like, I want to end the war with the Night King. Yeah. Anyway, your thoughts on Jon's reveal of the heritage, and also talk about Sam in this episode.
So, and that's the thing as far as like what you said. His main focus is, I want to save the North. He says it like 10 times in this episode. I'm just here to save the North. And I didn't really like, as a character, I didn't like when, what's her name? Lyanna Mormont, the bear. Yeah. When she stood up and was like, oh, you abandoned us. I was like, first of all, you're a child. Sit down and shut up. Like, listen to what everyone else is saying. But at the same time, like, I just disagree with that, because, and Jon says it, is like, I'm just here to save you guys. Like, I'm literally, that's all I care about. He's like, I don't give a fuck about being the king. He's like, thanks for making me the king, but it really meant nothing. It got us nowhere.
The only reason he accepted the title is because he knew he would have a position of power to help the rest of the North with it.
Exactly.
He used the title to help the North, because he never cared about it.
And it's stupid anyway, because like, that's not what is going to save you, is titles. That's not going to get you anywhere right now. It's being able to stand up against the White Walkers and have a fighting chance at winning. But as far as the reveal, I agree with
Irina?
Yes, thank you. I kept wanting to say, I have no idea why I kept wanting to say Dany. I know that's not your name, obviously.
Hey, that's a compliment.
Okay, well, there you go. I agree with Irina, a.k.a. Dany, that basically it should have been the way it was. I like how he was motivated by his anger at what real Dany said and did, a.k.a. killing his father and his brother. So he's kind of motivated by that to tell Jon, because I think he was kind of holding back. Like Jon says, like, have you been hiding from me? And he's like, no. But yeah, basically I have been, because I didn't want to tell you this thing. And so I was like, all right, now that he knows, I think that Jon won't tell anyone, but I think it's going to come out anyway.
It's going to leak.
Somehow, some way, yeah. It's going, whether it be Bran or Sam or someone else, some way, Daenerys is going to find out about it, and that's when it's going to be really interesting. Because
especially because as of right now, Jon knows, Daenerys doesn't. And what if in the next episode, Daenerys will approach Jon like, hey, come here, I love you. And Jon is like, you're my aunt.
Yeah. What does he do with that information now? And just one final bit about that scene. I really, really like the line where Sam was like, you gave up your crown to save us all. What will she do? Essentially, like, can you ask the same of her? And if she's really as amazing as I think she is and everyone says she is, then she should be willing to stand down. But again, I don't think that she'll find out for a while, because Jon isn't going to want to tell her right away, if at all.
True. Well, shit, I need to think. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I did want to say John Bradley's performance as Sam. Oh my God, how he has grown throughout the show. Because I remember him in the first episode, this fat, annoying piece of shit at the wall that we all didn't really like. It was annoying. And how he has grown into such a great character, and that is mostly due to his performance. Because if his performance is a little off, you will not like him. You will be like, he's annoying. But no, he's got a lot of heart. You care for him. And the moment that he hears about his brother, you feel like, it's heartbreaking. So I love that.
He did really good with the emotion in that scene.
Now, in Winterfell, we're going to move out of Winterfell because...
Tyrion and Sansa reunion. Nothing about that?
I liked that. I liked that, and... I
wasn't a fan of the dialogue between them.
When she was like, do you really trust Cersei? I thought you were the smartest person.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the dialogue in that scene.
I at least liked the significance of it, as far as like he sees that she's completely different and vice versa, because he's not like as much out for himself. Even when at the beginning, when he would act like he was out for everyone else, like really it just came down to what's in it for me. But I think now they kind of see how each other have changed. And like, it was kind of cool to, get the little reminisce, like, oh, the last time I saw you was at Joffrey's wedding.
Joffrey's wedding,
yeah. There were a couple high points. There was a couple good parts. So that was cool. But yeah, and then I would say the only other thing is that blacksmith's name. That's Gendry, right?
Gendry.
So Gendry and what's her face, Arya meeting again, and her asking for some sort of special weapon. I thought that was kind of interesting. So that was a cool little reunion.
I have a theory about the weapon. I think maybe she asked for something similar to the scorpion that tried to kill Drogon, but with Valyrian steel.
Okay.
Because she heard Bran say that the Night King has your dragon.
Yeah.
And Arya is the kind of person where she's like, no one's gonna do anything. I'm gonna do something. So maybe.
So she will take out Viserion. That's interesting.
It definitely looks like it had some sort of like projectile.
It was like a huge arrow, something.
Right.
Yeah, but let's talk about the little Umber boy, who's now the lord of his family. It was a hilarious moment where they're all in the Great Hall, and he's being called upon, and he sticks his head out like. We just laughed so hard at that. This
little dude has the funniest and the creepiest moment of the episode.
Because later, when we see Beric Dondarrion, Tormund, and actually also the Night's Watch, they find this boy who's hanged with the circle that we know from the White Walkers. Yeah, the circle, they've made it also in the first episode, in the very first scene actually, where we see a couple of Night Watch guys go beyond the wall. It's the same circle there. And I think it has also occurred a couple of more times when we saw some scenes with White Walkers throughout the show. And then, you get the reveal of him opening his eyes and they're blue, and you're like, oh, shit!
In the background, and you're just like waiting. You're like, oh, when is he going to fucking do some shit?
That was really your thoughts on that entire scene with Beric, Tormund, and the Night's Watch.
Well, at first I really wasn't sure what I was watching. I was like, did I miss something? Like, what are they doing here and all of that? So I was like, kind of trying to play catch up. But once they ran into the Night's Watch, I was like, oh, okay. And then they walk in and just a very creepy display to have all these limbs nailed into the swirl pattern with the poor boy in the center. But yeah, as soon as I think it's Tormund is in focus, and then in the background you just see blue, and I'm like waiting, like when is he gonna turn around? Like what's gonna happen? And then next thing you know, it starts screaming and try to stab him. So that was pretty awesome. And then of course, just like the moment of it all burning, it was gruesome, but it's like it just keeps making you think like
Game of Thrones.
this is not a joke what these guys are going up against.
This is the kind of Game of Thrones we haven't seen in a long time. It was just so creepy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I bet we will see a lot more of that. Because it shows that's the thing. Also, the intro was different. The intro only shows the intro shows the gap in the wall. Then the one place where Beric and the rest are, and it shows that already the Whites have passed that. So they're between that point and Winterfell. So that means that, the next episode will still be set up, and I think that at the end of that next episode, we will probably see, like some Whites show up at Winterfell. That will be the scene, and then episode 3 will be the Battle of Winterfell. Mm-hmm. Really excited for that. Let's move over to the one other location.
To the south.
To the south, King's Landing. There's a couple of things actually happened there. Theon actually refound his bolt somewhere. I don't know where, but he got Yara out. And Euron, well, he got what he wanted.
Yeah. Speaking of balls.
Well, your thoughts on the Cersei thing, Euron, everything.
Well, first of all, I still don't get how he got the Golden Company, how the Iron Bank gave him the money since Cersei didn't pay them back.
Not really, no, because Daenerys burned all of it.
Yeah,
They kind of just set it up as like, oh, they've managed to figure something out. No one really cares how.
He's persuasive. I don't know, maybe he offered some of his ships. I don't know what happened there. We have this Harry Strickland person that I've heard about
from the books.
I know nothing about him, but apparently he's a big deal. We'll see about that. I don't know. So far, King's Landing was kind of uneventful. Cersei slept with Euron. Sure. Oh, you have a theory about that.
I think I think she did that for a reason, because she's pregnant, and she's thinking, like, we might not even see the baby, but that's not what she's thinking about. She thinks she'll survive and have the baby. And if she gets the baby, people will be like, who was the father? Because she doesn't really have anyone. And I think that she just went to bed with Euron just to make sure that there's a cover-up story like, oh, she slept with Euron and it's his baby. And, of course, it will still be Jaime's. So that's my thought on that.
I like that because she's about to walk out, and then she stops and thinks about it, and then later he even makes the comment of, I'm going to put a prince in your belly, which is a really creepy way to say it, first of all. But second of all, if that's actually what it is, then now he's going to think, oh, this is mine, and she's going to be like, no, fuck you, get out of here. Like, so it was interesting to see. And the fact that now basically everyone knows that it's going on, because that Maester, I can't remember his name. Yeah, there you go. He knows that it's going down too. So it was like, that was interesting.
True. And it just makes me like Euron the most out of the Greyjoys. Then again, I don't really like any of the Greyjoys, so it's by default. But I also love the conversation where he's like, better than the dead king, and she she makes the comment about how he fucked a lot of whores and never really got any better at it, and then he's like, better than the Kingslayer.
Like, oh, bitch, you didn't.
Now Cersei does something, and it makes me hate her even more. She tells Bronn, go kill my brothers because they both
The brothers.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
both.
both.
It was definitely both Jaime and Tyrion
Yeah.
because they both
betrayed her.
betrayed her because Jaime ran away and so the thing is, Bronn is a very good friend of both Jaime and Tyrion, and also Bronn knows. Bronn has not really been promised anything. He has only had the words of
given all
Qyburn.
that gold.
He has only had the words of Qyburn saying, "Well,
imagine
Cersei,
what will."
Cersei did this for me. Imagine what she'll do for you." However, Tyrion has always said, "Whatever they do, I'll double it." So that means Tyrion will probably be able to talk Bronn out of it, along with Jaime. That's what I think. Your thoughts?
Yeah, basically the same. I think that's why I don't like the scene. Nothing's gonna come out of it. Bronn is not gonna do it. It's just to show that Cersei is a bitch, but we already know that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's to hint that Jaime is gone, because I missed that he said brothers, but apparently maybe it was for that. But I don't know.
Brian, your thoughts?
I think that he's going to try, but once he gets to presumably Winterfell, and he'll probably do something along the lines of catch Tyrion in a vulnerable way and have the crossbow and be like, "Hey, just so you know, your sister told me to shoot you and your brother, but if you give me the right amount of money or make enough promises, then I won't kill you." And then he's just going to end up being on the side of the Winterfell.
That's the thing.
Anyway.
Like I think that Bronn is a friend of both Jaime and Tyrion. He is not a friend of Cersei or Qyburn. So Tyrion is a hand of the Queen, just like Qyburn.
Yeah.
So if Tyrion says something, he'll probably also be able to get.
And he already got paid up front anyway, because that's what Qyburn says is like, hey, the money is downstairs in a carriage waiting for you to get in and go. So, like, what's his motivation to actually carry through with it anyway? Because he's got his money, and he can probably get more out of the brothers anyway, because that's two of them. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I think it sets up probably a lot more in the next coming episodes.
True. Well, and then I want to talk about one last thing that happens. Jaime comes to Winterfell. And he sees Bran.
Awkward.
The big awkward.
No, that's probably the biggest reunion out of all of them. Was there because do you remember what happened in the very first episode of season 1 of Game of Thrones? Hello.
Yeah, that was funny. Like, especially because that was a very interesting scene to make the final scene of your first episode of your final season. Like that, talk about the ultimate callback and just bringing everything full circle. He's like, "You're the son of a bitch that did this to me. Like, you ruined me."
Yeah,
and now,
like squinting.
Yeah, and now Bran actually has a measure of power. It's a creepy power, but it's still something. It's still power, to say the least. And I would assume that Jaime's probably gonna be like, "Hey, sorry about that, dude," but Bran's gonna be like, "Whatever, I don't care, just help the white fuckers."
I would think that Bran could figure out if Jaime hadn't done that, Bran wouldn't have become the three-eyed raven.
Right.
And I do think that he will kind of show some kind of appreciation, like you're a dick, you pushed me out of the window, but because of that, I became what I am today, and I'm grateful because of it. Because I do think, especially now that he is really changed into the three-eyed raven character, he likes that role, and I think he likes it a lot more than if he was just yet another kid of the Starks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll use Jaime having been a dick his entire life to guilt him into leading some of these armies into battle again. He's like, "Hey, you can make up for all the shitty things you've done in your life, including paralyze me, by picking up your sword and leading," because he's obviously a good general, or however you want to say it, he's a good military. Yeah, exactly. So in that sense,
as long as he doesn't go up against an army of Dothraki and a dragon, he's okay.
Yeah, true. True.
But now he probably has this army of Dothraki and the dragon fighting with him. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, what do we expect about the next episode?
I wanna the one little detail. There's one more person coming to Winterfell. Theon.
Theon,
and
right.
he's going to die there.
Probably. And it's going to be very poetic.
That's how they said goodbyes. He's like, I'm going to Winterfell. And she's like, okay.
What if that may never die?
Okay. Yeah. It's pretty clear that he's just going to die there. Everything started for him there. He's going there to die. That's it.
Do you have any other predictions for the next episode?
For the next episode.
Because we know it's not yet the Battle of Winterfell.
I think the next episode just gonna resolve Jaime, Bran. Jon is gonna be thinking about his lineage. Sam might be talking to some other people, or maybe like confiding with Bran. Like, I don't want her a queen, or he might be talking to someone else, without revealing that Jon is actually king. But he might be raising some concerns because he's quite a rational person. He might be talking to Davos. That's an option. So I think there will be these little things, people thinking about trivial stuff, when at the end the death comes and everyone's like, okay, doesn't matter.
Throw it out of the window.
Let's just survive. That's a prediction.
Ryan, your thoughts on the next episode?
I think that we'll get the continuation of the army getting ready for the Battle of Winterfell. So we'll just see more of like Gendry preparing, and they're gonna shake out the whole Jaime situation. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Jaime and Brienne reunion. Because that would be, first of all, it'd be awesome to see, but also I think that they're gonna be like together on the battlefield come episode 3. I think that Jon is going to be faced with a hard dilemma the next time Daenerys starts taking her clothes off, but I think that he will not say no, and I think he's going to go with it anyway, because first of all, incest is a thing. We've already established that. It's how it is.
Especially in the Targaryen time.
Exactly. And I think that he's just too in love with her, and he's just like, fuck it. Like, none of us knew. It's too late. Like, the threshold has already been crossed. But I still think that eventually...
Especially because Dany is already carrying his baby, I think.
Right, yeah. So there's just a million and one ways, but I definitely don't think that relationship is over. And I think the other thing that I'll say is I think that Sansa is going to do something annoying. I don't know what, but somehow throw a wrench in the works. Yeah, because she seems like the unstable one right now as far as like who we have. So she's gonna make some decision that like throws shit crazy and then like makes the battle that much more difficult heading into it. So those are really like my few guesses that I have, but I think that this next episode is going to be like very like anticipatory, like you're just like holding your breath the whole time because the one right after that is just going to be balls to the wall crazy. So
true.
Yes, and some lords refuse to come already. One, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah,
that's what will push Sansa over the edge. 100%. And I actually think that Jon will avoid Dany the next episode. Let's see whose prediction turns true, because I think he'll be avoiding. He'll be just trying to understand everything. She will feel very uncomfortable because the whole episode felt like he brought her to meet the parents. She was very uncomfortable, and every little thing she was very happy. She would go to her dragons to feel more comfortable. When the little kid said, my queen, and she like smiled, oh, he noticed me, thank you. She feels very vulnerable, and without Jon to protect her, she would especially once she saw that she hurt Sam a lot by killing his family. Next episode is going to be very uncomfortable.
She might actually go to Sam and explain her position, or at least talk it out.
She explained everything.
Well, I think in the next episode we'll see a lot more of what we saw in this episode, where it will be characters either for the first time together or for the first time since a long time together, because we have all these major characters all together now in Winterfell. Some of them haven't seen each other ever, but are important characters anyway, and are very similar or very different. And some characters have already seen each other, but haven't seen each other since like season 1, maybe even the first episode. Like Bran and Jaime haven't seen each other since Jaime pushed him out of the window. So I think we'll probably get something along the lines where yeah, that is definitely going to get some kind of resolve and stuff like that, which I'm very much looking forward to because I love all these character interactions because I love all these characters and I love how the show has essentially set that up throughout the entire show already, and it just makes you pay attention to everything because you notice, and it makes you want to rewatch the show. That's why I love it so much. So I thought this was a very good episode. I can't wait for the next one, and especially cannot wait for the one in 2 weeks, the Battle of Winterfell. A lot has been said about it, mainly about the fact that it's about an hour and 20 minutes long. It's set to be longer than the Battle of Helm's Deep and the Two Towers, which is already an insane battle. If we're gonna get that caliber or even better, even like, wow, I cannot wait for it. So I'm very excited. This episode was a very good start, and I think really that's all we can say. I can say about the episode. So guys, thank you for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Comment on anything you saw in the episode, on our thoughts, why we're wrong, why you agree with us, whatever. Just leave a comment, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we're going into plugs. You're gonna have a lot of plugs.
I'm here sometimes.
She's here sometimes. Exactly. Ryan, where can people find you online?
I will be here next week to talk more Game of Thrones, and also you can find me on Twitter at Clan McClellan and Instagram at Vintage Sights and Sounds. And yeah, I cannot wait. This was a great start to the season.
Indeed. And you can find me, well, here on Dedicated to Art, doing some Schmodown reactions. A couple of big matches coming this way in the Teams division, in the Star Wars division, actually. And of course, very soon, the title match between, as we now know, William the Beast Bibiani and Dan Murrell. That'll be a match. So check out all the Schmodown reactions. Check out the Who Cares Anyway podcast every Friday, where we talk about stuff, movie news, a topic. Especially next week, there's this little blockbuster coming out. I don't know if you've heard about it. A little indie movie called Avengers Endgame. We might talk about that. So check that out. And all the other videos that we do. I can't really... We have other stuff as well. So check all that out. Find me at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter, Case Cornelius on Facebook and Letterboxd. And until next week, the next episode of Game of Thrones, take care.